Hi guys, it is the 1st of May, just finished our integration week. Had a pretty transformational week, and I think this week I'm mostly going to focus on talking about my recovery, as I hit a massive milestone on Tuesday and celebrated it with a round of golf, which I'll include later on in the video. And yeah, just did lots of self-love. So I mentioned earlier on past videos and maybe some of the tips that I'm in recovery from substance abuse, and I celebrated my 1 year on Tuesday. So as of today, I'm 370 days sober. My 1 year chip right there. It says we're here and we're free, which never seemed more possible. Yeah, so I've got all my other chips here as well, so I'm just going to run through them and kind of see where I was at and kind of how my life changed throughout the period of my sobriety. So a bit about my sobriety: I was using kind of drugs and alcohol for about 9 years and invested in myself about 100 grand, give or take a couple thousand, over the 9 years. And I say invested because from doing all of that, I now understand more truly what it's like to be out there, what it's like to be powerless, and what it's like to have no control over how your day was run. And it also helped me kind of see some other gifts that I've got since I've been sober. Like the gift that if I want something bad enough, I'll do anything in my power to go and get it. And I'm now using that drive to go inwards and uncover my own issues. But yeah, so I will get into my own issues later on in the video. So the first chip I got was this lovely one here from my rehab center. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. And it says 1 day at a time, which at the time I didn't really agree with, but that's what they tell you, 1 day at a time. And I mentioned this in another video. I don't really agree with that. So I find it's a very limiting construct. And then I got this one the day after I left rehab. So my 30 days, first meeting I ever went to, first time I met my sponsor, and he is the only reason I actually went back to that meeting, because I went in there and I felt anxious, head down, didn't want to talk to anyone. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Only reason I went back is because I had to go and see him, which I'm grateful for, because it meant that I had a home group and I could see him. I could go there every week and sit there and collect my chips, and I even chaired. I'll get to that later. Yeah, so did that, started working the steps with him, started getting him away from meetings and actually starting to live life, because he was doing a lot of meetings every week and basically was living life to go to meetings instead of to go out, have fun, and do normal things. So I picked up my 60 days, which was, in all honesty, probably the longest I've ever been sober in my life, or had ever been sober in my life. Maybe a bit longer, but nowhere. Yeah, it's probably somewhere around the 60-day mark, and then something would trigger and I'd be gone for another 4 or 5 months. And I tell you what, the 30 days between 60 and 90 was probably the hardest bit of sobriety I've ever had to have to get this blue chip here. The 90 days, that one was incredibly hard. My mind was going, I was agitated, wasn't happy. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Still didn't have any urge to drink or use, which wasn't happy and anxious. And then finished off the 12 steps with my sponsor, went off on holiday, met Tiff, and then, yeah, which was a massive blessing in disguise because, well, it wasn't in disguise, it was a massive blessing. Because the day I met her, I was thinking about what would be the worst thing if I did have a drink with some people, and I was entertaining the idea about it. But then I met her. I think she was a godsend, and she was also sober. She really looked out for me on our first night because we were both exposed to copious amounts of drugs, and she was amazing. Checked in with me before we went in, and even though she'd only known me a couple hours, she was still checking in and making sure that I was alright, and I felt comfortable, which was, looking back, was incredibly beautiful. At the time I was in survival mode, and I was just thinking about, okay, how am I going to get out of here? How can I protect myself? This and that. And a small part of me thinking, okay, what would be the worst case if I did take some? And then I got back and picked up this beauty here, 6 months. Yeah, that one was brilliant. I like that one. Yeah, nice to come back from my holiday and picking up my 6 months and being able to carry that around with me. I'll still only go into like one meeting every 2 or 3 weeks because I never really felt the benefit of them. For me, this is my own personal opinion, is you go there, you unload your stuff from that day and you leave it there. There's no processing, there's no going through it, it's just unload and leave. And for me, that's not helpful. Might help for a little bit, but long term it's not going to help. You need to process that, move it, and come up to the root of it instead of just brushing off the foam that bubbles up. Yeah, and then how was it? Yeah, so and then Tiff came over for Christmas, and she witnessed me doing a chair, which was really beautiful. Sponsor spoke and said how much I actually helped him in his recovery, and he gained more from me than I did from him, which was quite heartwarming. And again, in my chair, I didn't go through all my war stories or through all the things I'd done and people I'd hurt. I talked about what I'd gotten from my recovery, and from wanting to travel for years to being able to go on 2 massive holidays this year is insane, thinking about it. If I saw myself a year ago saying, okay, I want to be at this point I am now in a year's time, I would have laughed. I would have told myself to stop being an idiot and stop living in a fantasy world. It just goes to show that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish great things. It's really nice. And then so for my birthday, so now I have a birthday, and then a belly button birthday. So my birthday is the last day I drank, because my drinking we're using at different days, and then my belly button birthday is when I was born. So for my birthday, I went out and I played golf, which I will include the video now. Morning guys, it's Rex here. I'm recording this on my birthday. 1 year clean and sober today. It's a massive achievement. Never in my life would I have thought it possible, and so much has happened in this year that I never expected to go this fast, and to have come so far. But I'm on the golf course celebrating. I was supposed to be playing with my friend, but he cancelled last night because he had to be called into work or something. But I was a bit resentful then. But now this morning, seeing how beautiful it is and just getting out at crack of dawn and this beautiful empty course, it's made it all worth it, and had some incredible shots today. Just wanted to come and say hi on my birthday and capture it in the moment. Not bad. As you guys have just seen, you saw me a few little, a clip or two of me playing on the golf course on a beautiful, brisk morning, and absolutely loved that round. Played pretty well, and then challenged myself to another thing, because I've been dabbling in and out of nicotine pouches for the past year. I've stopped for a period of time, usually when Tiff's around, and then when she goes, I start up again. And I have lied to her about this many times, and I probably know she will see this video, so I'm outing myself now. And so basically around that, I haven't used any since my birthday, and I brought it up to my faculty member about some of the reasons why I use it, and figured out that I'm basically just trying to numb my body to feel something else that's coming up. And so I went to abandoning my body, because I sometimes use them to stop myself from being hungry, because I have a bit of a food addiction as well, where I just constantly eat. So I kind of use that as a hunger suppressant. So then she pieced two and two together and came to the realization that when I'm using pouches, I'm the one who's abandoning my body, and I'm abandoning what it's telling me, saying it's hungry. I'm saying, no, I'm ignoring you, and don't do that. So that was quite sort of awakening. And so I'm going to some other work I've been doing internally this week around my heart space. So when Tiff and I first went on this break, I started diving into my kind of heart space with my faculty member, and I didn't even recognise it as a heart space. It was more just in my chest. I felt something when we talked about unconditional love from an animal, and I started to see just a solid egg that was impenetrable. So I started exploring it a little bit, managed to wake it up a tiny bit, but it still just shut off. And then looking back yesterday I started trying to visualize it so I could draw it, and instead of just seeing the egg, I saw the egg in a kind of background, and it's quite a crude drawing, so apologies for the simplicity of it. But that there, as you can see, is the egg in like a post-apocalyptic kind of burnt out world with just one light shining down on it. And that light is coming from within, trying to wake it up and heat it up. And then after continuing to do the work and exploring and expanding it, connecting with it on a daily basis, checking in, really doing the work and connecting, I had another transformation. And the egg went from a solid, impenetrable, to opening up in a quarter, and this beautiful grassy, flowery, and a paddock came flowing out of it, as you can kind of see here. So to have such an amazing shift in such a small amount of time has been incredibly sort of moving and inspiring for myself, to know that if if I actually put the work in for myself, I can change so much, and I can really grow and actually just become my higher self. So going back to my discussion with Georgie, and she's my faculty member, basically talking about these pouches and how I'm trying to stop and trying up the ante, and after a year I'm finally saying, no, I'm doing this for myself. And she asked me what were the reasons why I wanted to stop, and I thought to myself, I remember walking into our shopping centre and buying some food and about to go down the aisle to pick some up, and a voice popping into my head saying, why, you know, it was me asking myself, why am I doing this? Why should I do this? And then a voice popped into my head and said, no, you want to be clean, you want to be sober, you want to have a healthy body, you want to love your body. And I was like, what the hell? And it's kept getting louder and louder, and I actually listened to it for the first time in quite a while, and that was my inner child telling me that no, this pouches are bad for you, you don't want to do it, you want to be healthy, please listen to me. And because I've been doing that work around my heart space, I actually listened to it. And so then I told Georgie that I want to do it because I want a clean, healthy body. So she said, okay, that's brilliant. So she told me about this new technique, or this technique called the urge jar. It's basically when you get a cup or a jar or something, and every time you have an urge to do something, so for me it'd be to buy a packet of pouches or have a pouch, it would be, okay, I have the urge, I don't act upon it, I put a cotton bud, or for me it's one of these little baking beads in another jar, and that's okay. So whenever I have an urge, I put one in, and as soon as the jar is full, then I treat myself to something. And because the reasons for not using them is because I want a clean, healthy body, a reward that's in line with that would be a full body massage or a full body scrub, which I will be getting. So I started that 2 days ago, and I'm actually astonished at how many urges I have throughout a day. And also if I do ever give in to an urge, I have to empty the whole jar and start again. And that's the one rule, is complete and utter honesty in this process. It's the only way it works. So I'll take a photo and start again. But I love the fact that I stopped drinking a year ago last Tuesday, and I stopped pouches, stopped nicotine on the same day a year later. I'm trying to hold that to it, and I had 13 urges today. This is just in, this is it, Friday afternoon. This is 2 days basically. That's how many bloody urges I have. You can see it's quite a lot, which is why I'm using small beads as well, because I don't have a lot of urges, a lot of triggers. So I'm using that. Yeah. And on other news, I reached a milestone a couple of days ago. My first YouTube video of me on Mount Hood reached over 100 views, which is quite exciting. And I made my first pitch to just a random person today. She was one of my students. I was chatting to her, and I told her I was doing this course, and she said one of her friends was a life coach, and she's been in therapy. And I was very nervously said, okay, so if you want to have like a powerful conversation, I'll be more than happy to put aside 2 hours for you, and we can I can see if there's anything that I can change for you, or anything I can change, which is quite nerve-wracking, but she thought it was okay. So she may call, she may not, It's up to her. But this book I'm reading is incredible. And I'm learning so much from it, and it's changing the way I'm approaching clients, potential clients, existing ones, and yeah, it's just fascinating. There's also another part in it relating to the difference between therapy and coaching. Yeah, so the thing that's so different between coaching and therapy is that you can be in therapy for 5 years and still not know exactly what's happened or gotten better. But coaching has to be good. People don't renew their coaching contract if it's not working for them, if life's not getting better, if they're not transforming and hitting their goals. They don't just stay on you. They don't just stay on with the coaching like they might with therapy. Coaches have to prove themselves with their work constantly, or no one will refer people to them. Clients won't renew with them, and they'll have to start their lives all over again. So therapy is about healing. Therapy is about the past, i.e. healing wounds. Coaching is about the future. It's about creating a future that's different from the future that would have arrived by default if you had no coach or no sense of creativity and no commitment. Yeah. So that's quite nice. I've been kind of searching for a real kind of definition of what coaching actually does, because I know how impactful it is. Just not really sure how to sum it up in words. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else I was going to say today. Yeah, so I'm going to do my lives on Wednesday. There are a few people that were always a bit too early in the morning. So I did it at 2 p.m. UK time last week. Leave a comment or anything if you prefer it to be an hour or two later on Wednesdays. I could do 4 p.m. on Wednesday UK time. I think it's GMT. Yeah. But yeah. So leave a like and a comment, and if you have any questions about my recovery, about where I'm at, the work I've been doing, please feel free to ask. Yeah, I love teaching people and helping people and really going deep. And also I asked on the faculty Q&A, that's the thing why I wasn't taking the majority of my clients as deep as I've been taking my fellow students, and that's also comes down to abandonment and also them not being a container for them, and me being fearful of them leaving. So I'm now going to commit them to signing an agreement for a few months, so then I know if one session, if I've maybe broken some bridges, I can repair them next time. So I don't have that fear of them just going, and that will allow me then to really go all in and really fearlessly say what no one else is willing to say. And that's very exciting for me. So I love being able to show up completely and just give it my all instead of worrying, I want to say this but I can't, and so I'll see some of you on Wednesday. If not, then thank you for watching, and maybe see you next week. Alright, bye for now. I'll chat to you soon. Yeah, thanks for watching. And next week there'll be more kind of content based around the course and what I'm learning, because this week it's just been studying and trying to take it in. I did the STEM sentence writing to my first proper girlfriend, because ever since we broke up, she's kind of always lingered kind of in my heart, and lingered in my heart and around, and always come up in from past relationships and always come to mind. So I feel that now I'll finally be able to let it go and take what I've learned from the relationship and stop letting it hold its power over me. Yeah, it feels quite nice, like a weight's been lifted just from a small act of writing some stem sentences, having such a powerful impact. Oh, well, that'll be me for the week. I will see you guys on Wednesday at the same time. Oh, and also I'm thinking about shaving my beard. It's getting a bit annoying. So leave a comment if you think I should keep it, or leave a comment if you think I should shave it off. And I'll bring it up again on Wednesday.